first ask a DM or StepDaddy's DM desk, feel free to jump on in, say hello, maybe chat, maybe throw down some ideas, maybe, I don't know, tell me what kind of problems you're having. We can do anything from, idea smithing some decent prep to maybe foundry problems. Not sure. If you've got a question, feel free. Yeah, well, you can feel free. Feel free to throw it in chat. I will do my best to respond to all of them as they come. If you are a DM and you have an emergency, go ahead, hit Q in that chat. But if you are new to the channel, I am the Dungeon StepDaddy. I run a campaign. It is called The Planet of Oob. Very scary. I know. Oh, hi, Anna Banana. How are you? Hope you're having a good night. Oh, your desires. Well, one must always follow their desires, you see. First off, I would start by loving a person named Mark. Oh, well, thank you, Anna. I agree. Mark is the best. Definitely one of my favorite characters. I don't know what everybody's problem was with him. He was the most helpful person they've ever come across, and yet they don't trust him. I don't get it. It's the craziest thing. So, Adam, I know you just started a Curse of Strahd game. Do you have any DM questions for me? Or Anna, you're a new player. By all means, share with us. Tell us, what is it that you desire as a player? Anything anybody wishes to work on? I know when I first started playing, I was very worried. Very concerned. Thought I would do something stupid. Thought I would embarrass myself. And you know what? It was true. I did all those things. But you know what? I had fun doing it. Adam, great question. So he asked, how do you know personally that your players are having a good time? Well, for the most part, one of the easiest ways is, did they show back up? Usually, if you're not having a good time, you don't show back up. If you want to know it before it reaches that kind of end, you try to feel the vibe. Keep an eye on their faces as you're DMing. In my case, I can look down and see, 5 squares where all my players' faces are, and I can be like, cool. How engaged are they? Usually somebody who's not having fun does not want to engage. It could also be that they're brand new too. So, know your players, right? Say if you know they've only got 1 or 2 games under their belt, yeah, they might just be being shy. Hi, War. How are you doing? Well, Anna, yes. Having a good DM is helpful. Um, Probably, I mean, they are the linchpin in your campaign. If your DM sucks, there's no working around it, right? Um, and I don't mean like when I say sucks, I do want to be clear about this that uh, there are different varieties of DMs. You're gonna have a lot of DMs that are brand new, or some DMs that they'll excel in different areas. You might have one DM that's really good with music, one DM that's really good with voices, or some combination. Maybe a good story builder or a good world builder, or they're really good at making magic items. So it's judging somebody as a whole. Do they talk to you? Do they want to know what it is that you do they know what your character's striving for? And I don't just mean backstory. It is nice to have backstories included. And short campaigns, it's a little more difficult. Yeah, there are some that'll put the screen down for a few years. I know a few DMs that, honestly, if they go past a year DMing, they get burnt out. They they really put everything they can into the game, and chasing aggro. Oh, hi Atlas. How are you? Um, but yeah, some people have limits. I will say, players. Yes, you do want your players in general to, vibe together. If you vibe with your players and or with fellow players and you vibe with your DM, you're gonna have a good time. You are making a new character for a campaign starting up soon. Ooh, Circle of Dragons Druid. I know exactly what subclass you're talking about because I have that as a backup character for my Curse of Strahd game. What a fun little class. Uh, I decided to make that into was it halfling? Halfling, yes. That way they could grow up big and strong. They go from Tiny Tim to Big Bertha, and you get to fly around. You get a lot of good strikes in. It's a really good use of your wild shape, um, especially when in campaigns where DMs really hate you flying, which I've never understood. A fairy. Fairies work too. Personally, I was going for that can never roll a one thing. But yeah, no, the Circle of Dragons, that looks super fun. I think there was another one I was looking at. It looked like it would be a giant pain in the ass for any DM, and it was called Circle of Entropy, I think it was. That's right, Adam. You will deal with it because you're a good DM, and that's what good DMs do. Just remember, gravity can still hurt you. Long range is a thing. If I can cast a range spell at level 1, why can't the enemy? Enemies can also fly. Adam, I think you've seen that in my campaign. I will absolutely hit you with flying enemies all the time. If you are limited to melee range, you're going to have a bad time. Ooh, Anna, for that 6-month tier 1 sub. Thank you, Anna. You are lovely, as always. And chasing. You told me that you were rating earlier. What are you rating? Final Fantasy. Oh, yeah, I've never heard of Final Fantasy exclamation point dollar sign, but I have heard of Final Fantasy 14. I haven't played it. I haven't really played since 10. Yes, Miku did meet her match with the Queen. Um, yeah, that was a pretty hard hit. Gonna be real honest there. Never seen a barbarian go down in one hit like that before, but I mean, as a DM, it was very interesting because I had to watch all of my players scramble, but they used good tactics. They used their environment, and they were able to make things happen. And we even got to do a little rule of cool. Really, really excited me. And sorry, chasing. When you said rating earlier, I assumed it was a panty drawer. It's okay. That's just how my mind works. But that's okay. That's okay. So Anna, what is your favorite? Like what? Yeah, I'm never getting monetized. Um, Anna, tell me if you're still around, of course. What is it that you like about your DMs, the ones that you have interacted with? If I recall right, you've been in what, 3 different campaigns of varying degrees? Great question, she says. She's like, why did you pick on me? Um, it's like, kind of reminds me of that kid who didn't raise their hand but still gets called out by the teacher. That's exactly what I just did to her, and now I kind of feel bad. Um, what's everybody's favorite uh way to play D&D? Do you like to do it online? Do you like to do it in person? And if you do it online, what medium do you use? Personally, I use Foundry or Forge. I find that to be more versatile for my needs. You can do almost anything in it. In fact, I'm writing up some new mechanics right now because I wrote myself into a corner. Not that my players know, even though they're in chat, but uh, definitely have some things on the horizon. Maybe some things they like, maybe some things they hate. I don't know yet. We'll find out when we are in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You hear nothing. You see nothing. You smell nothing. Good, good. That's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I needed. No, I won't get into spoilers or anything like that, but knowing that there are mechanics out there, um, all my players know that I'm plotting. I'm always plotting. Incredibly helpful, guiding through all the pieces of D&D that give me some grace. Yeah, you just described one of the best DMs you can have. Um, I'm sure there are DMs out there that expect you to show up and be absolutely ready for the game. Like, you know all the rules, you know everything. At some point, yeah, I suppose all DMs expect you to, at a minimum, know your class. Um, Always going in and asking, hey, if you're a level 8 rogue and you're still asking how sneak attack works, yeah, it tends to upset some DMs, especially if you started at level 1. But for the most part, most DMs love new players. We love them. Can't get enough of them. Welcome to the dark side. Here's one I've always thought about. Now, most of the games that I either DM or play in, because I always tell people that I am a player first and a DM second, is voices. I noticed everybody is always so worried about voices. Not so much like, okay, so some people just don't do voices. That's totally fair, totally fine. I'm okay with that. Not that that matters, but I think sometimes players or DMs are very worried about how they look, and they get embarrassed. And to be honest with you, like a lot of players and DMs don't actually care. Like if you do a bad accent or a bad voice, I won't say it'll never happen, because that's an absolute, and only cis deal with absolutes. You're probably not gonna get made fun of. It's fun. If you ever want to do it, do it. And if they laugh at you, well, oh well. Yeah, there's definitely some mechanics that are a giant pain in the butt. You could think and you can mindscape it all you want, and it's just gonna come back and bite you. I see you're using tunes now, Adam. I have corrupted you. No, I agree. Maybe they shouldn't be in that group. Like, if you do a voice, and, there's obviously a difference between, a light rib poke and them actually making fun of you. But if they're actually making fun of you, time to find a different group. But I'm also a firm believer as a player, for sure, that I go into a group, if something rubs me wrong, I just leave. It's not, because sometimes even if you get it fixed, like, it still happened, right? You still got that bad taste to you. Yeah, that seems to be a lot of people's worry. How dumb will I sound? Okay, when the first time you heard your voice on a recording, how did that make you feel? I know the first time I heard my voice on a recording, talking into something, I thought I sounded like an idiot. It wasn't until I was much older that I realized that I have a dreamy voice. And how dare you for disagreeing with me? I like your accents, Adam. I like your accents. They work. Now, I will say it's kind of my table thing. If you miss the session, I'm going to do a caricature of your voice. So if you do a voice and you pop up, or if you do a voice and you don't happen to show up that session, I get to play with that. I think we had Nafir. Very nice guy. Awesome player. And I go very Arnold with his voice. And then Miku, our Aarakocra. I'm always squawking. And then with Cliff, our cleric, he's a bit southern. So I just take that from a 2 to a 10, and we see how far that goes. I might play with their voices, but I never make any big decisions for them. That's player agency. Never mess with player agency. Even if sometimes it's the illusion of choice. No, it's a fun voice. It's a fun voice. And thank you, Anna. My screen's only so big, and you're inflating my ego. I appreciate it. And sorry, distractions. That's what I do. Squirrel. But we're shooting for Q&A today, so if you're just arriving, I see some new viewers. I am your Dungeon StepDaddy. Today is a D&D Q&A. Feel free to ask anything D&D related. Could be virtual tabletops. Could be I'm having a problem at my table. You could be a DM. You could be a player. I'm here to help. Now, maybe some people can help me with this. What is everybody's view on AI? No AI, some AI, or a lot of AI? How does it rub you? The wrong way, the right way? Personally, I use AI a lot. I use it a lot for art. I use it for some music. I use it to help me piece together an idea I had, or help me with encounters or magic items. It's a tool, right? See, I am not artistically inclined at all. I can draw a stick figure. I'm pretty good with that. And I have bought art. You know, I have commissioned art quite a few times. But I also know that it's really expensive. And to do things like tokens and whatnot, it can get very expensive very quickly. When you're talking $60 to $100, depending on what you're asking for. And I got a scene that's got 5 different people on it. I mean, I stream, but I'm not exactly rolling in the dough. So $300 on the low end is a bit much for a single stream. Maybe when I get millions of viewers. Yeah, no, I can understand books. I wouldn't want them in my books either. A couple of reasons. But most of the time, you can't keep a piece of art. You're right, Anna. I do need to win the lottery. I agree. But they're not consistent when it comes to making a character. So even if you wanted to change the way they're standing, it's gonna look similar, but it's not gonna be the same. While an artist, I mean, artists will have a job for quite a long time. AI is not there, and that's not to say that artists will ever actually lose their job, per se. I like to use Star Trek as the example. You know, you could have things replicated. You could have, you know, the computer could make works of art and all that, but you still had Picard with his little flute, and you still had people cooking, and you know, chefs and everything like that. Like there's always going to be a place for it. Maybe now it'll just be for, you know, fun. But I've seen a lot of hate on AI, and I like to get people's views, because some places you look, it's an echo chamber, so it's boring. Extremely biased resource. The first is a personal fight or argument between two players that has spilled onto the table. The second would be, how would you handle someone not showing up or an inconsistent player? Oh, those are pretty good. Well, that depends. First one depends. You got an argument between two players. Well, first off, are they adults or are they children? Because I've DM'd for both. If they're adults, sit back and see how it goes. Maybe say, hey, let's cool it down. Just you're throwing a little bit of water on the fire, and maybe it goes out. Maybe they're having a bad day. You never know. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on in other people's lives. Now, if they've already talked and they are just at each other's throat, okay, time out. We're going to pause the game. I'm going to take you two to the side. I'm going to figure out what's going on. And I know this is not really a DM's responsibility, but I am military, and that's kind of what I do. I problem solve. It's kind of built into us at this point. So I'm going to figure out what's going on. Depending on, and it depends on what happens. I don't know, somebody took a magic item that you wanted. Are you at a table where the DM allows you to steal from other players? Those guys are pure and utter cancer. And see if you can resolve it. You are the dungeon master. You are the table. Like, you run the world, so keep your world in check. As for handling someone who doesn't show up or an inconsistent player, did they tell you? Did they tell you that they were going to be inconsistent? Is there something going on? Job, whatever. Be honest with your DM about situations like those. People's jobs, their hours change a lot. Okay. Yeah. I find a lot of issues can be resolved very quickly as long as you're open and honest with your DM, and that the DM is honest with your players. So if I had somebody who wasn't showing up and they didn't want to tell me why, you don't have to tell me. This is a game. You don't have to anything. I also don't have to let you at my table. If you're not going to show up, that's not just disrespectful to me, who put in the time and effort, but it's also disrespectful to your fellow players. Not to say things can't happen, but as soon as you know, tell me, tell your DM. We'll disseminate as needed. Need to know, that kind of thing. But I find it a little disrespectful to everyone at the table if you just didn't show up. I talked about it in my podcast. I had somebody who didn't show up to a table. I was a player. Was I a player? Was I running it? No, I was running it. That's what it was. Yeah. They decided that they weren't going to show up because 20 minutes before they decided they wanted to go get McDonald's and didn't want to play the game that day, which ended up being a cancellation for the entire game at 5 minutes before the game started. And I'm very much I said the game's starting at this time. This is what time the game's starting. It's not show up 20 minutes after the game started and expect a chair. I won't bug you about a minute or two, but I've seen a lot of these TikToks where you got one person who shows up early, and then the next four show up, up to an hour later. And it's like, no. I've already canceled the game, my guy. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for the subscribe on Prime. Because he's a prime rib. He's not choice. Haha. So, feel free. Keep them coming. I'm trying to shoot for an hour for these. That way I make sure I cover all bases for everybody involved. Of course, this is new. So, again, I get it. How many players is the perfect amount for a campaign? Well, I think most DMs will say that less than 3 gets a little difficult. But as far as the max, oh my god, some people are crazy. For me, I generally like to run with 5 at the most. With the occasional 6, you've got a guest player or somebody just wants to try the game, I can go up to 6. That's my max. The reason being that if I have too few, it's hard to make encounters for everybody. It's very easy to have a TPK, and unless you're just manhandling the CR on it and making your mobs really dumb, which does happen from time to time. Because the goal isn't necessarily it's not DM versus players, right? You're telling a story. You're supposed to be having fun. Set an intent, and if it's supposed to be a really hard fight, and there's a risk of death, okay, cool, people die. If it's supposed to be a chill, hey, this is my boy Mark, super cool dude. Might not make them all that difficult. If your murder hobo of a cleric wants to go out and kill the guy. Kyle, the special drywall guy. No, Mark. Yes, Mark. I don't know. He paid for everything for you in that town and did your homework for you. So, I don't know. You just sound like a bully. But for me, the perfect amount is 4. The amount of people that you can have, I have seen a lot. I think there's some out there, it's not uncommon to find somebody who has 12 at their table. And I mean active 12, not, hey, and, we have 12 people and you do a rolling, hey, who showed up this week? Cool, this is who we're focused on this week then. I know, and they locked him in the shitter. It was awful. Poor Mark. So suspicious. All he wanted to do was be your friend, and you guys tried to poison him. How dare you? Abandoned. Yes. He might very well be. You don't know. Or maybe he got digested. For those of you that are unaware, we had a scene. There may have been a mimic. The house may have been a mimic. And they all got swallowed, and now they're in an area that I think they believe they're in the Shadowfell. Hard to say. Monster, mimic, house. Yes. The moon is a mimic. Am I being honest? Or am I messing with my players? You never know. Oh, and I can't wait for the meetup, Adam. Assuming you don't die beforehand. Who knows? You could be the newest guardian of her little keep. Wouldn't that be fun? She gets to keep you around on a leash. But no, Mark, I like Mark. Did that answer your question, Anna? My players derail things all the time. I will say that but yeah, no, my players derail me all the time. They will they want to go to places I don't have maps. They want to do mechanics that I have never even thought about. At first, it was very difficult to kind of roll with it because you have a plan, right? You're a DM, you have a plan, you have a world, you have a quest, you got that line, right? And my players, which I applaud them for, they always thinking outside the box. They jerk the wheel as hard as they can, go off that bridge embankment, and shoot for whatever goalposts that they happen to see out, following the birds, And I've gotten a lot better at pivoting with them. Luckily, some new mechanics have come out in D&D that I get to play around with. And so actions have consequences. Not that anybody is being punished for thinking outside the box. Absolutely not. But there's still consequences. Some good, some bad. That blood ritual in the middle of the Draconic Capital was awesome. I thought I handled that very well, thank you. Luckily, I have Tim, who provided me with a lot of the tools to work with, and I just kind of made it happen. And now everybody got to see that your soul is crawling with an Eldritch Ooze looking thing. And the Oracle won't even come near you. Right on the steps of the church. I mean, where else would you do it, honestly? Like, in the privacy of your own home? That's stupid. Why do it in privacy that you can do in public? Feel free to take that how you want. You were literally trying to corrupt the one person in the Platinum Kingdom who can see things somewhat in the future. I mean, I don't know what you were hoping for. Who knows? Maybe you were looking for Gold Dragon Oracle Mommy. I'm okay with, like, I ain't gonna stop you. You guys are all over the place in Discord. It's nonsensical. Keep the receipts. Keep the receipts, my guy. Yeah, what do your notes say, Adam? This is where he yells at me. Says I take notes. Yes, of course I want honesty. The only people who are allowed to lie to me is the government. And only because they're going to do it regardless of what I say. Yeah, I believe it. 5 sessions. Although it's been pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's been pretty straightforward. Did you write down that you met a lich? Just a little lich, just saying hi. How you doing? What's good? You want to be friends? I've never seen somebody close a door so damn quickly when they saw a lich go by. Oh, that tickled me. Thank you for that. You tickled me. Also, I know my live looks a little weird. I've got this StepDaddy thing at the top here. I'm gonna try to fix that and make it a little bit cooler next time. We'll see. I haven't really decided on whether or not I will actually continue these. I'll have to get some feedback, some back feed, or some feed, and see how that goes. But hopefully I am helping those that are here. Man, I'm sounding really preachy right now. Come to me, my children, and tell me, what is it that plagues you about your group? Be gone, scheduling conflicts. That is the Archduke of Avernus that is speaking to you. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe this will be a common thing. You guys get to hear my voice. We'll get to keep things interesting. Yeah, you should have seen me today trying to come up with how I wanted to do this. It wasn't until the last hour I was like, man, I've got to, shit or get off the pot. Do this thing. Do the thing that people like. I feel like Adam's plotting on me. Are you plotting on me, Adam? I already know Anna is. Anna, is Kelly watching? Tell her I said hi. Oh, don't worry. I have an entire vibe, scene or otherwise, going on for old Adam and his meetup, if you will. I know, right? Anna, send her the link. Tell her a really handsome dude is on here. And hold on, let me clarify. I'm not talking about Adam. Also handsome, but not the one I'm talking about. Kyle, how about you? Do you have any questions for a DM? Are there any things that... Actually, Kyle, do you... Obviously, you're a player. Do you DM as well? Are you only in one campaign? Actually, that's a good question for everybody. How many campaigns are you in? We'll say as a player. I find if I'm in too many games as a player, I start bleeding over from one to the other. Voices, personalities. Ooh, Adam, you're cheating on me. You're in two? Two as a player. What's your other one? Oh, yeah. I knew that. I knew that. I know you were staying away from it for a little while. Well, not really staying away from it. That's a bad way to word it. You hadn't been to a few of the sessions. Did you jump back into it recently? I'm sure you didn't do anything on Thursday. think he was busy. Busy. I think Anna's ignoring me. Oh, good. Get to go in, play a little chaos. If you want shots, honestly, okay. So that's a really good question. I use real world inspiration to come up with my homebrew. So, in my world, for example, I came up with just a concept, right? It took me a couple months to really decide on how I wanted to go about the concept. I was like, damn, I want to use all the dragons. That's literally how this campaign started. I want to use all the dragons. We have so many. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Why is there always only one damn dragon? So, I was like, I'm going to include all the dragons. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I got to pitch it, right? So, in this case, we have the lawful good, the chaotic evil, and the neutral boys. Okay, cool. So, I went with the good guys, your favorites, the metallics, being a theocracy. We had the gems being a democracy. And then we had the chromatics as the anarchists. Very tribal in nature. So, little real world inspiration. And Adam, I actually didn't start with my villain. That came to me later. And now you guys get to play with the jester. That came to me on a TikTok. Someone did something, and I just kind of ran with it. It's not exactly the same. Never copy the homework, right? But use the ideas. I do love the jester. Oh dear, what fun little toys we will have here. Plus, you know, when you can do the voice, it really ties things together. So yeah, I mean, reach out for anything. I mean, you can do just like people do maps with the whole rice method. You know, you throw the rice on the paper and you can trace around it. Now you got a map. Look around, and inspiration will come to you in the oddest forms. You know, you could look up to the sky, see if a murder of crows going by, and that could become an entire theme for a campaign. Oh, are you now? You're going to end my jester? I look forward to it. See, I hate building maps. I'm not bad at it, but I just don't like it. It's much time, much work. I think it took me a couple weeks just to do the world map for my campaign. But yeah, you can get inspiration anywhere, my guy. You know, if you're looking for a villain to make, if you're looking for a theme to do, and you don't. The other thing is that you don't have to think of every single thing right then and there. I come up with plans. So I'll figure out where you start, I'll figure out where you end, then I come up with, hey, this is where I'd like them to be at level 5, this is where I'd like them to be at level 10, and where I'd like them to be at level 15. Cool. Those are my goalposts. How you get there? Sometimes I don't even know that until after the previous session. Nothing wrong with doing modules. There is nothing wrong with doing modules. I always tell people, though, that if you're going to do a module, be willing to homebrew at least a little bit of it, because some of them are very restrictive, and they don't take into account the chaos that the players bring to the table. And I feel like those guardrail. So instead of, a solid wall, think of it as a screened wall. Let your players explore. You don't have to create the whole world. You keep them contained, but it still allows for a little bleed through. Homebrewing an entire world, especially a sandbox world, can be very overwhelming. Because you can come up with 100 maps and 100 places to go to, and your players aren't going to choose any of them. I have so many maps that are unused. But they're ready, just in case anybody ever goes there. The big thing is just updating the mobs. The other thing I like to do is far too many people know exactly what the mobs are. We've all played low-level campaigns. We all are very aware of what kobolds, goblins, hobgoblins, zombies, and skeletons do. We're aware of what their stat block is. Some people can recite it from memory. So all of my mobs are homebrew. Oh, you thought you knew? Let me show you. Kobolds can't fly. Whoops. That's meta. Not that I homebrew all my mobs per se, but I know where to find them. I have a source. And they do all the work. I've homebrewed personally a handful of monsters. Kara was a big one. Nero, everybody's favorite child. He started off as some homebrew thing, and I just took it and I made it mine. So he's no longer the thing he used to be, by a lot. Like, he used to have parents, and then the group killed him, or killed his parents, and then threw him in an orphanage. It was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Did I lose everybody? That's the other thing that happens to me. I'll be streaming, and next thing I know, I'm talking, and everything disappears. Zip, zop, zoop, everyone's gone. Super fun for everybody involved, I'll tell you. And hey, if you are ever looking to homebrew something, feel free to bring it to the StepDaddy's DM desk. This isn't just ask questions. I'm here to help you. I want to ensure everybody's having a good time. And if you're crying, it's because you're having a good time. Or I've just burned through 3 of your backup characters in the span of one session. That can happen. No, you did not level up. Yes, of course, please, of course, my desk is made of a rich mahogany. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is that bullshit board that everybody uses, but that's okay. Or when I become rich and famous, or stream or lottery or some government vehicle accidentally hits me and I win a suit, this will be mahogany. Anna? Why would you think Anna's going to level up? Anna is our guest. Who knows? She may end up... maybe Anna is going to join us permanently. We don't know. I don't know. She don't know. Listen, if I ever get a mahogany desk, absolutely, I'm going to be posting pictures everywhere. That's going to be a literal video. Listen, I wouldn't be against it. I would allow it. I would allow it. A 6-member? If it's going to be a 6-member, of course, that would involve a lot of side chats with Anna. Yeah. Well, remember, he's a paladin, Well, was a paladin, right? Maybe he'll go from Oath of the Crown and go Oath of Devotion with Grashka being his devotion. You're right, I didn't say no to the level up. I also didn't say yes. You Goomba. You Goomba boy. But that's why I love you. I already gave you an item. I gave all of you items. How dare you? Actually, you had the ability to have gotten an item. That's one of the things I tell my players is that I will litter the place with items. It's up to you to find them. Yeah, no. You guys needed them. I swear to God, Kyle. God damn it, Kyle. No, it's the oddest thing. I hate dealing with summons. It's my thing. It's weird. I get it. I know, you just abandoned Eddie. Are you going to protect your Bastion? I like how you think you'll ever make it back there. Who knows what I have planned? But we're reaching about that mark, and as lovely as it is to talk to everybody, I need to take the information I learned tonight, and I need to refine it a bit. It's all about that refinement. So, all right. That's StepDaddy's DM desk for tonight. Desk is closed. War room's locked, and I'm cutting you off before you invent a new subclass. Drop questions for next time. Follow if you want more bad ideas with good execution. And hey,